An unexpected financial or self-worth shakeup demands a total pivot, my beautiful Taurus friends, in how you earn, how you spend, and how you value yourself. So what is happening in the skies this week is utterly fated. Let's find out more about your horoscope today. Friends, this video is a forecast for your sun, your moon, or your rising sign. You can check out all three videos, and they're going to tell you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. I'm Kesenya, and welcome to the Astro News and Weather Report for the third week of June 2026. Don't forget, everyone, this is tropical Vedic astrology, not sidereal astrology. Do look it up if you need to. And yes, I am a real person, not AI. So on the 20th of June, this is the key feature we're looking at in the week ahead, and it's a doozy. Uranus will exactly square the nodes at 3 degrees and 9 minutes. They've been tangling very close to one another in the preceding days up until this point, but they become exact on the 20th. So we are absolutely under this energy at this time. So pow, this energy is bold, big, and exceptional, and it only occurs roughly every 8 years. It's not common, it's not ordinary. So did you experience an important life shift back in 2018? It's likely to have been the result of this big, powerful event in the sky, Uranus squaring the nodes. And those themes that happened back then may be getting to make a repeat in your life in some way, shape, or form now. And it's all fated. Anything to do with the nodes becomes very fated indeed. So are you ready for a surprising and life-changing shift? Because here it comes. So nobody said this energy was easy. It is a square aspect to the south node and the north node, as you'll see in the little piece of chart footage that I've got here on the screen with me. Nobody said this was easy. The aspects are harsh, but it will get you unstuck. It may create some chaos, but possibly in the end, it's going to take you more to your destiny and put you in a more self-sufficient position in life. That's what Uranus wants to achieve, after all. So you will want to embrace your own truth. You won't stand for pretense or fakeness or falseness anymore, either yours or other people's. And you may even up and abandon everything that you thought you knew or thought that you wanted from life. This is an energy of sudden impacts, shocks, and life-changing redirectioning. Get ready for it all, my friends, and that's what this video is actually designed to do for you. Now, it may have global effects. We are, I believe, already seeing some of those effects at play in the geopolitical area. But on a collective level, this transit stirs restlessness within the masses and restlessness with the status quo. The way life is not satisfying anymore. We've had about a gutful of certain elements of the way life is unfolding. There's going to be a lot of differences of opinion around this time, particularly when it comes to Uranian things like technology, community dynamics, friendships, individuality, and our general direction as a society. These things could become especially divisive now. They could be potentially damaging. They might sever alliances and relationships of all kinds. We can also expect, in a global level, changes on societal and technological levels that will really alter the collective path of humanity. Going against the grain and societal disapproval, these are key themes. We're already seeing it. If you get your news from social media sources, it's out there. Mainstream media won't touch on any of this, but it's absolutely happening. Like, just take a look at what's going on in Ireland right now, if you want an example of this. You know, it is about going against the mainstream narrative and the mainstream norm. That's very Uranian, and it's fractious as it does so with a square to the nodes. But this is part of our collective, I'll get my words right, destiny. Cooperation doesn't come easily at times like this. And yet what we're seeing, for example, in Ireland does sort of herald the potential for a collective movement, for a revolution. And there are other themes at play at the moment besides just this Uranus square to the nodes. We have a trine to Pluto. We have a sextile from Uranus to Neptune as well. That is really holding space and helping this theme to perhaps have more positive momentum than it might otherwise do at other times. This was certainly not the case in 2018 when this dynamic last formed. But what about how it's going to affect you personally? In evolutionary astrology, Uranus represents our need to free ourselves from the conditioning that's been forced upon us by our culture, whatever culture that may happen to be for you. Culture's rules, culture's expectations. You might not even be aware that you have been conditioned, but believe me, everybody has to some extent, some people more than others. But those of us who hunger for awakening, who hunger for greater awareness, and who want to be deconditioned out of societal constructs are going to find that this transit is an absolute blessing despite the upheavals that it might bring. Those who still love mainstream media, those who believe that the government acts in their best interests, those who don't want to acknowledge the true root of darkness in society will find that this transit is tremendously challenging because Uranus is going to shake us all off the fence quite forcefully in some way. So it's a time that we're going to need to increase our awareness in order to choose wisely. The choices that the universe is requiring us to make may not be obvious at this time either, and it might be a case of having to take the path less trodden to get to a much better outcome. This transit can bring the biggest of life disruptions. Think sudden endings, sudden beginnings, changes in life direction, new ideas and breakthroughs that you would never have anticipated popping into your life in amazing ways. So here are a couple of questions that you might like to ponder on or journal about in the lead up to this energy becoming exact. Firstly, where were you 8 years ago, around November 2018? And what feels similar to you now about the circumstances you're in? Secondly, question yourself, are you clinging to the past, to old ways of doing things, to old beliefs, out of a state of fear of the new, or are you bold enough to step into something that is completely unknown now? In what ways do you deny the truths that keep knocking at your door? Now, this might be the beliefs that you have despite all the evidence you're seeing to the contrary, or the relationships that you keep rehashing over and over and over when you know you should just let them go, or the choices you make that speak to compliance with society instead of the liberation that Uranus actually may want for you. If the universe was to radically shift something in your life right now, what would you want it to be? I'd suggest putting that out there to the universe and asking for the shift and the dynamic and the change to occur in that field of life, because the universe is ready to rock the boat and may just do it in your favor now. So now we're going to go through the influences for each sign. And remember, my friends, to check out your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, because all will be relevant to some degree or another in your life. Beautiful Taurus friends, your money situation is about to get shaken up in a really big way with this Uranus square to the nodes, because Uranus is sitting in your money house, in your finance house. Now, what might this actually look like? Maybe you lose a stable income, but maybe you stumble into an unexpected opportunity. Maybe you finally just get fed up and decide you're going to go freelance. Whatever it is, your old relationship with money and how you make it, how you spend it, how you save it, it's just not going to cut anymore. The universe is asking you, what do you value materially, financially, and what changes do you need to make in order to align with what is really your truth in this area? It's big. It's really big. Here's the thing. You have probably been measuring your worth by your bank account, Taurus. And if not your bank account, it might have been the job title that you have or your ability to materially keep up with the Joneses. That's not where it's at this week. That's not what the universe wants for you. It's not about identifying yourself through your stuff. This energy this week is your wake-up call to stop you doing that. Now, if you're already all over that and you don't sort of buy into that kind of idea or that ideology at all, then you're going to be fine this week. Life will continue on as usual. But if you are somebody who's got to have the latest Gucci bag or, Jimmy Choo pumps or whatever, the universe is going to say, hang on, stop buying into your self-worth through your stuff. It's a wake-up call energy, Uranus square to the nodes, and it's not easy. Real security isn't about grinding yourself into the ground or chasing what looks impressive. It's about figuring out what actually fills you up and builds from there. So it could be that, you discover, having the Jimmy Choo pumps leaves you feeling empty at the end of the week after you've worn them once or twice. And what really floats your boat is growing some tomatoes in the backyard. There's going to be a real shift in dynamic of what you value, what you appreciate. And it could be a big 180-degree turnaround. So expect this sudden shift. Sounds a bit difficult, doesn't it, to expect something suddenly going to happen in your life. But when you notice this mindset change about your money or literal in your external world financial change, know that it's coming from Uranus square the nodes. And remember my words here. The sudden shift I've described could be quite, feel like pulling the rug out from under you. But don't be afraid, because for many of you, it could be a windfall. It could be something suddenly coming your way financially that you've been hoping would happen for ages, and it shifts your destiny with money. It could be something, like a financial curveball that you didn't expect would come, and there it is out of the blue, for better or for worse. It could also be something happening with your home or your belongings that forces you to get creative with your stuff, creative with your material existence, your material world. The point is here, something disrupts the usual flow of money in your life and how it's coming. If it's been coming in dribs and drabs, it could come in like a flood. If it's been coming in nice and steady, it could sort of dry up for a little bit. But it's pushing you to dig into talents that you haven't yet used. How you earn, how you spend, how you value yourself is getting a total rewire this week, my beautiful Taurus friends. Now, as you can see, this is a big week of karma because of this interaction with the destiny nodes and the past life south node. And if you want to understand more about your soul's journey, my friends, why not join me for my Karmic Astrology Masterclass and get a free astrological goddess report based on your personal birth chart. The feedback that I've had for this course has actually blown me away, and I know this wisdom will transform your life too. So join the class through the link in the description below. You won't be disappointed.